when you're resistance training, your body is so much more resilient to stresses. Unfortunately, a lot of us wait until there's an injury, and then we have to use resistance training to get the joints and the body back up to par so that we can be participating in the activities we enjoy. Because really, when it comes down to it, resistance training and exercise is all about getting your body to a state where you can do whatever you want.
Welcome to the Exercise is Health podcast, where we're talking about exercise, health, and the interconnectedness of the two. We are your hosts, Charlie
And Julie.
And we will be coming to you every single week from our studio, Muscle Activation Schaumburg. Hey, welcome back, everybody, to the Exercise is Health podcast. We are your hosts, Charlie
And Julie.
And we are coming to you from our studio, Muscle Activation Schaumburg in Schaumburg, Illinois. Now, at Muscle Activation Schaumburg, we believe your health is your most valuable asset. Your health is one of the biggest influencers of the quality and quantity of time that you have. And while there are many aspects of health, our expertise is exercise. Exercise has been proven time and again to not only improve your health, but also increase your longevity and improve your quality of life. And if you are looking for a way to exercise on your own while still receiving the quality of guidance that we give our clients here at MAS, then you need to check out our virtual membership program. This is exactly why we created our virtual membership program, to help those who wanted to exercise on their own still receive customized quality workouts similar in nature to how we work with our clients here at Muscle Activation Schaumburg. So if this is of interest to you, go to matschaumburg.com and click on the membership tab. Now today we're answering questions about exercise, and actually this question was found on Quora, which is a question answering site, and we thought it would be perfect for this podcast. And we're putting a little bit of a tweak on it to kind of promote more how we view exercise, and we view exercise's role in building health and building longevity. And so the question is, what are some sustainable fitness hacks to help promote health? And so what we're giving you today are 5 sustainable fitness hacks for helping to promote your health. Now, here's the thing. So often when we think about hacks with something, it's like this huge amount of effort and energy up front, and then you just continue to reap the benefits for the long term. Or it's a way to get maximum benefit with very little effort. So it can go either way. What we are talking about in terms of hacks are ways for you to get the most out of your exercise on a consistent basis while still exercising in a way that's sustainable and that you can do for the long term, so you can promote your health for the long term.
Now, if you already use exercise and your mindset is to use it to help you improve your health, you're already winning. We're going to give you 5 tips, but I want you to know that you're already winning by using exercise to promote your health. And why is this? Because exercise's most potent benefit is improvement in your health. It's not improvement of your physique or how you look, although people use exercise for that. Exercise is actually the most potent at improving your health, whether that is different blood values. If you've been listening to our podcast guests, almost every single guest from all the different aspects of health have said exercise is a huge component. Because think about it this way. When you go out to your garage and you have a task to get done, maybe, you want to hammer some nails that are popping out of your wall or something like that. What do you look for to accomplish that task? Well, you'd think you'd look for your hammer, right? But what if all you had was, a wrench or something? You could probably use that wrench to get the job done. It's just so much less efficient, right? So if you think about using your tools in your garage, the most efficient way to use your tools are what they're appropriately designed to be used for. So you would use a wrench to be turning bolts, and you'd be using hammers to hammer in nails. You wouldn't try to use, a hammer to turn a bolt, and vice versa. So if you're already using exercise, this tool to improve your health, you're already doing a great and efficient job rather than trying to use exercise for things that it's not really that good at.
Yeah, Julie, that is right on. So let's dive into our 5 sustainable fitness hacks for your health. All right. Number 1 that we want to tell you is to do resistance training. Okay. At a minimum, you need to be doing resistance training twice a week for a minimum of 20 minutes. All right. Working all the muscles of your body, your upper body, your trunk, and your lower body. And this is really, really important for a couple of reasons. Number 1, doing resistance training is one of the easiest ways to specifically target groups of muscles that will help support your joints. And as much as you can love doing cardio, if your joints aren't working well, you can't do cardio. Plain and simple. So in order to ensure that you're able to continue to do cardio, you have to make sure that your joints work well. And one way to do this is to make sure that the muscles that are controlling those joints and supporting those joints are getting strong and are working well, and resistance training is a surefire way to do that. Number 2 reason is because building muscle, not like bodybuilder muscle, but just building muscle will help to keep the metabolism of your body higher. And this is really important because as you age, one thing that can happen is that the metabolism of your cells start to slow down. So by building muscle, again, not thinking like giant bodybuilder muscle, but just building muscle, that will help to keep your metabolism higher, which is really important to reverse the effects of aging.
Now, as you're talking about this, Charlie, both of those points are such great points, but what's coming to mind is a recent client story that I would like to share. And this client had been weight training with me about 2 years ago. She made a lot of great strides, but prior to coming to see me with resistance training, all she enjoyed doing was walking and doing Zumba, which is really typical for a lot of women her age, in their 50s. And I think also culturally, weight training is pretty new, and especially for women, but women usually feel more comfortable with cardio. So as life happened, she stopped training with me, but over the time when she stopped, she also had some big injuries to her meniscus on both sides, and it really made it so that she was unable to just go and freely do her cardio walks and go and do Zumba and be carefree. She really had to be really mindful, and actually to the point where she had to stop doing both of those. And now we're having to use weight training to get her knees stronger so that there's less stress and less force on her knees. And the goal being, hey, let's get your knees strong enough so that you can go back walking and so that you can go back and do your Zumba. And I think we always miss this because preventative care is so hard, right? Because we don't know what we're preventing, but we do know, and Charlie and I see this all the time, that when you're resistance training, your body is so much more resilient to stresses. Unfortunately, a lot of us wait until there's an injury, like my client, and then we have to use resistance training to get the joints and the body back up to par so that we can be participating in the activities we enjoy. Because really, when it comes down to it, resistance training and exercise is all about getting your body to a state where you can do whatever you want, right? So that you can do the activities you enjoy. You can move and participate in life in the way you enjoy. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about exercise, and really value that resistance training over the cardio, because the resistance training is your big maintenance piece. It's the thing that allows you to keep doing the things you like, including cardio, including daily activities, including going on vacations, including going to do physical activities, maybe riding your bike at the forest preserve and things like that.
Now, the second sustainable fitness hack for your health that we want to give you is, while you're doing resistance training, make sure that you are moving slowly. And this is super important. One of the quickest ways to ensure that you're not able to exercise is to injure yourself. And one of the most likely ways to injure yourself is to be moving too fast while you're lifting weights. You see it all the time if you go to the gym. People who are trying to literally move weight as opposed to trying to challenge their body. And when the former is taking place, oftentimes that means they're moving fast. Look, unless you are an athlete or somebody who is using your body and you need to be moving fast for your line of work, whatever you're using your body for to get paid, there's, in my head, very, very, very few reasons why you should be trying to move really fast in the gym, especially when you are lifting weights. The risk of injury goes through the roof. And the only way you're going to be able to exercise for the long term is if you stay healthy enough to exercise for the long term. And one way to make sure that you cut your exercise career short is by suffering injuries. So, in order to help prevent injuries and make sure you're able to exercise for the long term, while you're lifting weights and doing resistance training, move slowly.
Picture this. Think about a 5-pound dumbbell, okay? And I want you to imagine that you're holding it in your hand, and then you bend down and place it on your foot, okay? Looks weird, right? But okay, now picture this. Put that same 5-pound dumbbell in your hand and stand up straight and put your foot out, and I want you to think about what it would feel like if you were to drop that weight on your foot. Are you getting two different pictures with that? I hope so, because I totally am, and it, like, my foot's already hurting by thinking about it, right? So when you place the 5-pound dumbbell on your foot, it's really no big deal, right? It's like, okay, 5 pounds. Yeah, I mean, I don't really want it there, but it's not bothering me. It just feels like my foot's getting smushed, right? But if you think about dropping the 5-pound dumbbell on your foot, it does not feel the same as when you've placed the 5-pound dumbbell on your foot, right? It's probably at least 5 times the amount of force on your foot smashing down because it's dropping from a distance. This is showing what happens when we move with momentum, right? When we move with momentum, or when we move quickly in the gym, what happens is that whatever weight you're using, whether it's 5 pounds, 20 pounds, gets exponentially larger. And what happens when we move with this exponential amount of weight is that our joints are having to catch this weight, because this weight that we're lifting in the gym up and down and up and down, and usually very fast, that creates a high potential for injury, is creating this high potential for injury because of this momentum effect. Because when we're launching the weight, when we're moving fast, our muscles and joints have to catch this weight at some point and lower it back down. I mean, think about for example, a knee extension, that one where you sit and then you straighten and bend your legs, right? A lot of people on this exercise and every exercise kick the weight up pretty quickly. And at the top of the range, our body and our quads, our knees, the joint between your kneecap and your femur, that's actually where a lot of people have issues, have to now catch this weight that you just threw up in the air. So when we move slowly, what we allow to happen is that we're actually lifting the weight that we intend to lift, and we're not lifting and launching and catching more weight than we intend to lift. What also happens when we move slowly is that the muscles are getting a more even stress throughout the range, rather than being quite easy in one part of the range and really difficult in another part of the range. And the part of the range that's really difficult is that part where we're kind of catching the weight on the way back down. And the part where it's really easy is where we're launching the weight. And at some points, sometimes the muscles aren't having to work at all, or very minimally, because we might think we have 20 pounds on the knee extension, but because we've now thrown the weight up and we're using momentum, there's really virtually no weight from the machine that's challenging your quads at that point.
Yeah, Julie, you are right on with all of those points. That actually leads us into our third sustainable fitness hack for your health. And that is to focus on squeezing your muscles while you are doing resistance training. Look, here's the thing. If you are focused on lifting weights while you're doing the exercise, then your focus is on moving the weight up and down, regardless of what you're using to do that. And the issue with that is that when you go to exercise, the weights never adapt. The weights never change. You can lift 100 pounds 1,000,000 times and it's still going to be 100 pounds. What's the thing that changes? What's the thing that adapts to your exercise? That's your body. And so if you are exercising to improve the health of your body, to improve the look of your body, to improve the function of your body, to improve how your body feels, then you need to be focused on what's going on within your body while you're doing the exercises. And that is a huge piece to the puzzle that so often gets overlooked and so often gets missed. Like Julie was giving the example of the knee extension. And when people do knee extension, their focus often is, well, get the pad up, get my knees straight, not feel my quads squeezing, not challenge my legs as much as I can. I'm going to get 12 reps done at 100 pounds, regardless of what I have to do to get that done. And that is a huge issue. One, because it's taking your focus off the area of off the thing that's actually going to get the results, which is your body. And two, when you lose the focus of what's going on within your body, you are then more susceptible to having issues creep up within your body. In other words, starting to feel things get tweaked, starting to feel your body not be that happy with how you're doing the exercise, which eventually, when compounded workout after workout after workout, could potentially lead to injury.
Absolutely, Charlie. This focusing on your muscles squeezing is such a huge cue that we use with our clients each and every day. And it is probably the biggest differentiator that a lot of our clients notice when they start training with us versus what they've experienced in the past. Have you ever heard when people say, oh, listen to your body? Usually when we hear this term, listen to your body, it's about maybe feeling ill one day or being underslept or not feeling so hot. We're talking about, listen to your body and don't overdo it, blah, blah, blah. But one really interesting thing about our bodies is as we exercise, our body is constantly giving us feedback. When we think about our muscles when we exercise, you're going to notice right away that your body is giving you feedback that you're able to respond to. You're going to notice that your body is sending you feedback the entire time. The beautiful part about this is that as you're moving through any exercise, you're able to catch anything that's going on in the moment. When you're focusing on squeezing your muscles, your body's ability to give feedback and for you to perceive that feedback goes through the roof. The beauty in this is that if something is going to negatively impact your body, your muscles, or your joints, you're more likely to pick up on this as you're doing the exercise rather than waiting to have to suffer with the aftermath of a potential injury or a potential, overdoing of a certain area, muscle group, or joint.
Now, the fourth sustainable fitness hack for your health that we want to give you is to do exercise that rebuilds your body. Exercise that builds your body and exercise that rebuilds your body is exercise that's focused strictly on improving how your body feels and how your body functions. So often, exercise is done for the doing part of the exercise. In other words, we're going to go for a run in order to run the 5 miles, or we're going to go for a bike ride in order to bike for an hour. Or we're going to go to the gym to lift weights as opposed to try to strengthen our muscles and to challenge our body. So here's the thing. All those different ways of exercising are totally fine and well. But like we've been talking about, when you remove the focus of exercising from improving how your body feels and how your body functions, your likelihood of injuring your body or of having your body not feel well after your exercise starts to increase. So if you want to make sure that you're able to exercise for the long haul, you need to be doing exercise that focuses on building and rebuilding your body. Okay, so what does this look like? Well, the building your body is exactly what we're talking about with resistance training. Now, you can do cardio as a way of building your body, but the focus needs to be happening on what's going on within your body. So you can do cardio in order to try to improve your cardiac output or, decrease your resting heart rate or whatever kind of result you want to get from your cardio. That can be the goal of doing your cardio. But while you're doing it, you need to be focusing on what's going on within your body. You're not just going for the hour bike ride and getting through an hour gutting it out at all costs. All right. You have to be mindful of what's happening within your body. So you have to do exercise that either builds or rebuilds your body. So that's kind of building your body. The rebuilding aspect comes from recovery. All right. So being able to exercise is great, but you have to be able to recover from your exercise so you can go and exercise again. And then when you exercise a bunch of times in a row, that's when you start to see really cool results. Well, you're only able to exercise a bunch of times in a row for the long haul if you're able to recover from your exercise. And so sometimes this includes doing things specifically for your recovery, such as going for a longer, slower walk, doing things that are more mindful in nature, such as meditation or guided breathing or things like that. Being really conscientious about your nutrition, all right? So things to help your body recover, making sure you're getting really good sleep, to allow you to keep exercising, not just for the next 3 months, but for the next 30 to 50 years.
Charlie, you bring up a great point, and I think that some of our listeners probably have never heard that exercise could be used to build up your body. A lot of times when we think about exercise, we think about the wear and tear that it costs our body. But if you think about using your resistance training, which is tip number 1, moving slowly, tip number 2, and think about squeezing your muscles when you exercise, these are going to all be keys to using exercise to build and rebuild your body. And actually, often, these same things that build your body will also help rebuild your body. And that's why here at MAS and a lot of our colleagues, we're able to work with people that have previous injuries or chronic overuse of certain areas, like areas that constantly stay sore or achy. So think about using the first 3 tips to really make sure that you are prioritizing exercising to build and rebuild your body. Because if you don't, oftentimes exercise then becomes this taxing activity that really breaks you down over time.
Now, the 5th sustainable fitness hack for your health is to get muscle activation techniques, or MAT. Muscle activation techniques is one of the best things that you can do to ensure that you are able to exercise for the long haul. And this is because muscle activation techniques is not only going to help you recover from your exercise, it's also going to help to ensure that your body is better prepared for your exercise. See, the whole goal of MAT is to figure out where you have muscles that aren't working well and get those muscles working better. And when your muscles work better, your joints move better, you're stronger, you're more tolerant to physical stress, such as exercise, you're able to recover from your exercise better, and you are more prepared going into your exercise, which means you have a lower likelihood of injury. And so if we're talking about, well, how can I make sure that I'm able to exercise for the long haul? MAT is one of the best things that you can do on a consistent basis in order to ensure that not only does your body feel well, your body functions well, but you're able to continue to exercise and reap all the health benefits that come from exercise for as long as you want to exercise.
When we're thinking about fitness hacks, like Charlie said in the beginning, I think about efficiency. And MAT is the most efficient way that I know to keep your muscles working the way they're supposed to work. Now, a lot of things we do in our everyday life make muscles not work the way they're supposed to work. For example, exercising too much, exercising too little, exercising inappropriately or moving inappropriately, for example, moving a joint or a limb in too extreme of a motion. Sometimes your nutrition or toxins from the environment can kind of shut your muscles down. So what muscle activation techniques does is it brings these muscles back to doing what they're supposed to do. When we exercise, what we're doing is we're using our muscles, we're asking them to contract so that we can reap some health benefits. Muscle activation techniques is the hammer to the nail, right? Like as I gave before, muscle activation techniques is the thing that services the muscles that are we're going to be using to reap health benefits. So it is the perfect pairing for helping you exercise and making sure that, you're going to be able to exercise for as long as you are interested in exercising, which we hope is forever.
So there you have it, 5 sustainable fitness hacks for your health to help you exercise for the long haul. Now, who do you know that needs to hear this episode? Who do you know that is trying to exercise on a consistent basis, but they keep running into issues, they keep running into injuries, they keep running into roadblocks? Share this episode with them so they can hear some things that they should be doing, that they need to be doing if they want to make sure that they're able to exercise for the long haul. And while you're online, if you wouldn't mind, head on over to iTunes and leave us a rating and review. It helps people find our podcast. It helps people find this episode and find this information when they are looking for information on exercise, on health, on fitness hacks, on exercise podcasts. So if you found value in this conversation, let others know about it so they can hear it and it can bring value to them as well. Well, thanks so much for tuning in. We always appreciate it. Have a fantastic week, and we'll talk with you all next week.